Well, my friends from Ireland, today on the St. Patrick's Day of Tech Tuesday, we're going to compare steel bars and carbon bars. Look at the Irish. Hope we find a pot of gold. Damn it, those are horrible accents and bad dad jokes. That's what everybody says they want. Ah! Anyways, today, Tech Tuesday, handlebars, chromoly, carbon. Are you metal? Are you made of carbon? What are you? What's best? Come on in! Alright guys, please forgive me. That intro, horrible. Oh my god. I don't know where that accent came from. I think there was a little leprechaun running around somewhere. I know if I find one, I'm gonna look for that pot of gold though. It might be at the end of the rainbow. I'm going on and on. Anyway, today, guys, you've seen the episode we did on handlebars. You've seen how we've talked about the variances on handlebars. You've seen KJ's video about how to set your handlebar angle. You know, get that angle of the dangle, get it all set up. Do you want it Chicago style? Do you lean it too far back? Well, today we're gonna tell you chromoly handlebars, carbon handlebars. We're gonna do a little bit of a comparison for you. Are you metal? Do you carbo load? Which one are you? Because we've always told you, the carbon bars, while it's an amazing handlebar, and this is the best racing handlebar on the market, bar none, bad dad joke in there, the chromoly handlebar still has its place. This carbon bar, it's not for everybody. If you need the maximum stiffness, if you want the absolute ultimate rigidity, if you're trying to keep front weight down, this is the bar. If you're a little unsure of yourself, if you still find yourself casing things a little bit, if you need that little bit of compliance, if you want your wrists to be able to take a little bit of a shock load, you want the bars to be able to give a little bit, chromoly bar is the way to go. On our website, there's a blog that's going to give you the comparison of the ultralight carbons versus the chromoly. Now, our chromoly, it's a 13-butted chromoly handlebar. It's a post-weld heat treat, so it's super strong, super light, and this is really a go anywhere, do anything kind of bar. You're gonna find that it has a little bit of compliance. Your wrists are gonna be able to absorb a little bit. The bar is gonna take a little bit of a hit for you. Out of the gate, you're gonna feel just that little bit of flex. The bar is not super rigid, but it's gonna give you that strength that you need. The carbon bar, super light. Coming out of the gate, it's gonna give you the maximum pull. This is gonna be just the ultimate on this. You're not gonna find any give on the bar. This is gonna treat your wrist a little abruptly. I mean, this is what you're gonna use when you want the maximum power transfer. A lot of people were nervous on a carbon handlebar, but those are the same people who are nervous about a carbon fork, carbon rim, carbon crank, carbon frame, and there really isn't any reason to be worried about a carbon handlebar when it's done right. Everything's been done well. You have a 31/8 clamp area, you have a teardrop shaped riser, teardrop shaped crossbar. You can see the way that the bulge changes as it goes over to the clamp area. This thing is optimized for maximum strength and maximum weight reduction. This is the ultimate BMX race handlebar. This chromoly handlebar, this is the tried and true. This is what everybody's been running for over 40 years. We've gone ahead and we've refined it to where it's 13 butts, so it's thicker, thinner, thicker, thinner, thicker, thickest. Repeats the process on the other end. You've got the knurled clamp area, 22/2. You have the welded in crossbar. You are gonna find there's gonna be a little bit of flex. That's what happens with a chromoly handlebar. That chromoly handlebar is gonna absorb a little bit of the flex that would normally go into your wrist, where a carbon bar won't. That is something that people will talk about when they switch over to a carbon bar. They're gonna find that they snap out of the gate quicker, find that their response time out of the gate is faster, but some of them will come back and say that their wrists are a little bit sore. So lots of times what they'll do is they'll go from a thinner grip to a thicker grip. So that way, like if you run one of the ODI Vans grips, it has that thicker texture for your grip area rather than going with like an AG1 where it's super thin. The Vans grip gives you a bigger grip area so that way it gives you a lot more cushion and it absorbs. So by doing that, you get the better snap, you get better pull, it keeps your wrists from getting too sore. In a nutshell, or maybe in a leprechaun shell, since it is St. Patty's Day, that's pretty much a completion on chromoly bar, carbon bar, and you get to make the decision on what works best for you. We've got rises and bends that are the same on both, so it just depends upon what type of a rider you are. If you're gonna be going out and you're gonna be hucking your bike, if you're gonna be throwing it around, don't get a carbon bar. If you know that that's the type of rider you are, get the Chromoly bar. But if you want the ultimate in performance, if you know that your bike is the ultimate race machine, well, there's really only one choice for you. If you're a brand new rider with tons of money, no, do not get the carbon bar. If you're a brand new rider with a ton of money, go Chromoly bar. And the reason I say that, if you're a brand new rider with a ton of money, a brand new rider is going to be casing everything, a brand new rider is going to be crashing a lot. And if you're going to be casing everything and crashing a lot, go with the tried and true Chromoly bar. The Chromoly bar is going to be able to take those crashes and take the abuse that a carbon bar is not designed to do. The carbon bar is designed to be a true race handlebar. This bar is designed for someone who knows how to get over the jumps, get through the turns, and needs to do it with maximum efficiency. So if you're a brand new rider with a ton of money, please don't buy a carbon bar. If you got the money, buy a good Chromoly bar, get used to riding. Spend your time and money out at the track, practice as much as you can, learn to ride the track as much as you can, and once you get to where you're feeling that, hey, I can clear these jumps, I'm getting around the track good, then spend your money on the carbon bar. So if you've already got a Chromoly bar on your bike and you want to upgrade to a carbon bar, you'll notice the one thing that we spoke about. The carbon bar uses a 31/8 clamp. The 31/8 clamp requires a different stem, not a headset, but a different stem. And that different stem is for the oversized handlebar. There are some Chromoly bars on the market that use a 31/8 clamp, but most, 99% of the bars that are Chromoly that are on the market use this 22/2 clamp. The few bars that we've seen that are Chromoly that use the 31/8 clamp, people tend to say are overly stiff, are typically a bad bar that are out there for just being way too rigid. Most of the time, switching from a Chromoly bar to the carbon bar, you're gonna need to invest in a new stem as well. Does the carbon bar come in chrome? No. You can't chrome plate carbon fiber. Carbon fiber, by nature, it's a cloth material that's packed in with a resin. You can't chrome plate it. You can paint it to where it looks like chrome, but chrome plating is actually a metallizing process to where this is a thin layer of actual metal that goes over the bar. So this is actually a full metal bar. You cannot chrome plate carbon fiber. You can only chrome plate steel. This carbon bar weighs almost 2 pounds. This carbon bar weighs under a pound. Am I gonna notice the difference on the front end of my bike? Yes, you're gonna notice the difference on the front end of your bike. Is it going to pull different? Yes, this is gonna be a lot stiffer. Is the front end gonna come up a little bit different? Yes, you've got a lighter front end compared to the heavier front end. Does that make the Chromoly bar bad? No, not by any stretch of the means. Now, if this was a straight mild steel bar and it was a 065 or an 083 all the way through, yeah, don't do it. This is a good heat-treated butted Chromoly bar. There's a lot of great heat-treated Chromoly butted bars on the market. So any bar, whether it be a carbon bar or a Chromoly bar, you want to make sure that you have a good stem that has a round clamping area. Now, on our carbon bars, we do specify, don't over tighten. Make sure that you only tighten to 10 Newton meters. Now, we've tested this way past 10 Newton meters, but 10 Newton meters is a lot. And 10 Newton meters on a good round stem will hold this in just about any type of situation. You don't want to over tighten, you don't want to crush the bar, you don't want to crimp the bar. Same thing goes on a Chromoly bar. You don't want to over tighten it, you don't want to crimp it. If you get it to where you over tighten it and you crimp it and you start to make it to where there's little wedge shapes in the bar and it actually locks into the stem, It's not going to allow the bar to slip when you crash or have an impact, and it's going to cause the bar to crack. So a lot of people have said, oh, my bar cracked. But when they send it back, most of the time, the bar has been crimped and crushed, and it's been mashed into the shape of what the stem is. And then you can tell that they've crashed. Well, when they've crashed, the bar hasn't been able to move. So since the bar hasn't been able to move, it's actually started to fracture. And it's not just that they've crashed once, they've crashed twice, they've crashed 3 times, they've crashed 4 times, they've crashed 5 times, and then it finally starts to fracture. So there are stems on the market, not gonna name any names. They're not a round shape, it's an almond shape. By having that almond style of shape, you're not getting a true clamp. It's actually trying to crush, and you don't ever want to crush the bar. You want to clamp the bar, and by having it clamp, it makes it to where if you do have a bad impact, the bar will slip, and by having that bar slip, it's actually saving your wrist, saving your arm, saving your components so that you can get back up, loosen your bar, put it back into position, tighten your bar back up, and go back out and ride. I have seen some people to where their bar will slip. All they'll do is tweak it back into place. Worst thing you could do. Loosen the bar up, move it back into place, tighten it back up, and then you're good to go. When your bar slips, it's because it had too much force moving on it. Same thing goes on the carbon bar. It will slip. If it slips, don't just push it back. Loosen the bolts, move it back into place, tighten it back up, put it to your 10 Newton meters. Sometimes you don't need to go to 10 Newton meters. On some of the taller bars, the 8.5s, with some of the really big guys, we've seen them take it to 12. Okay. 12's all right. 10 is what we really recommend to be the maximum. But on the bigger guys, they take it to 12. We've never seen it slip, never had any kind of an issue. That's usually more than you need. Most people, 6, 8 Newton meters, all you usually need. You don't have to go gorilla hand. Just go ahead, get a torque wrench, get some proper tools. Make sure that you take care of your bike the proper way. So guys, today, I hope you learned whether you are metal or if you carbo load and that you've made the decision. Is it a carbon bar for you? Is it a chromoly bar for you? And with that, I'm gonna head on out to the track. I'm gonna go look for the little wee fellow. I'm gonna go look for the little leprechaun. I'm gonna look for my pot of gold. I think you should too. Grab your bike, head out to your track, go look for your leprechaun. Go find your pot of gold. Make sure you like, subscribe, but first, grab your bike, go, get out of here, go!